Thank you, Bill. Nice way to start the day. Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you here today. And happy Father's Day. Welcome to Unity of Orange County. Before we get started, we always like to go through our vision and mission statements. We don't have them up there, but we know them. Our vision statement is, centered in divine love, we joyfully co-create a world that works for all. And our mission statement, to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those that helped make this service possible. And you know that expression, it takes a village? Well, it does. So, first of all, Bill on piano. Yay, thank you very much. Tom on audio. Waverly is on streaming, and John on camera. And today, Diane will read the daily word, and our speaker today is Reverend Allison, and her topic is, If Ye Has Faith. So we do have a few announcements for today. We do have our gratitude circle that will be meeting on June 27th at 11:15, okay. And we do have a new class in July. It's called Spiritual Economics, and I had a book here. Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth, and that begins on Tuesday, July the 6th at 6:30 to 7:30. And this is a powerful book that will change the way you look at prosperity and your relationship to money and how spirituality relates to it. Okay, the next Spirit Walkers will be meeting this Thursday, the 24th, at Laguna Niguel Regional Park. And this is a place for anyone at any level to join. So we hope to see you there. It's so pretty there, and it's such a beautiful walk. So I hope you will be there. And it's from 9 to 11. And see Holly or Diane if you have any questions on how to get there. All right, and then we have a special treat on July 11th. We have Dr. within your soul to help you heal traumas, repair DNA, and remember your magnificence. There will also be collective and personal messages from the angelic realm for the participants. And this is Sunday, July 11th at 11:30. And there are flyers on the table out here. And so be sure and pick one up and put that on your calendar, because that is a wonderful experience. I have done work with Dr. Lara, and I can tell you it is a nice experience. Okay. I believe that is it for our announcements. Be sure to go to unityoforangecounty.org and look at our calendar. And one more important thing that I would like to tell you is that Christopher had hip surgery, and he is in a healing process right now. We have some cards on the table that we would love for you to please sign. He needs all of our prayers and messages, so please do so. Now I would like to invite Tom to come on up, and our special treat as always.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day, everybody. This is a song by Elton John that is about him becoming a father. So. Hey, you're a child in my head. You haven't walked yet. Your first words have yet to be said, but I swear you'll be blessed. I know you're still just a dream. Your eyes might be green, or the bluest that I've ever seen. Anyway, you'll be blessed. And you'll be blessed. You'll have the best, I promise you that. I'll pick a star from the sky, pull your name from a hat. I promise you that, promise you that, promise you that. You'll be blessed. I need you before I'm too old to have and to hold, to walk with you and watch you grow. And I know that you're blessed, and you'll be blessed. You'll have the best, I promise you that. I'll pick a star from the sky, pull your name from a hat. I promise you that, promise you that. You'll be blessed, you'll have the best, I promise you that. I'll pick a star from the sky, pull your name from a hat. I promise you that, promise you that, promise you that. You'll be blessed. Promise you that, promise you that, promise you that. You'll be blessed. Thank you so much. I want to welcome up Diane for the Daily Word and Meditation.
Thank you, Tom. That was absolutely beautiful. Really got me into my heart. So happy Father's Day, everyone. What a beautiful day it is. So today's daily word for Sunday, June 20th is Father's Love. I give thanks for my Father and all expressions of fatherly love. I treasure my childhood memories of feeling safe when my father or a father figure in my life was nearby. I remember my father's encouragement as I was learning to ride a bike, as we explored the wonders of nature together, as he taught me to use money wisely. Even when I made youthful mistakes, my father's sometimes stern but always wise judgment helped me find the way back to my right path. I give thanks for both the sacred human and the unfolding expression of God within my Father and everyone who has blessed me with fatherly love. Today, I pray for my father and for all fathers, affirming for each of them growing wisdom, understanding, and willingness to nurture others with a father's encouraging love. And from John 15:9, as the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. And now we'll move into today's meditation. And this is a meditation on Father's love and the power of faith. Let's start by clearing our minds. Take 3 deep breaths. Slowly tune into your higher self. Slowly and deeply breathe in and out. Allow your thoughts to clear. Shift your awareness to your heart. On your next breath, invite a feeling of gratitude for all fathers. Physical fathers, adopted fathers, father figures, and our divine beloved presence, the Father within. We infuse all fathers with love and gratitude for their influence in our lives. We thank them for their support, encouragement, and love. We give deep, heartfelt gratitude for fatherly love. Today, this precious day, we also honor our faith. Whether it is as small as a mustard seed or as large as a mountain, faith is the energy that carries us forward. It opens our hearts to knowing that we are worthy of all good. When events around us seem overwhelming, when worry and doubt darken the landscape of our minds, we call forth faith. In prayer, we affirm that faith will see us through. In meditation, we picture a reservoir of faith that we easily draw from. Faith fills us with trust and confidence that lightens any load. Faith expands our awareness to recognize the presence of Spirit in every person, place, and circumstance. It reminds us to trust in our abilities, knowing we are always supported by the divine. Faith uplifts us, our thoughts and actions to create our heart's desire. It reminds us to be open to divine guidance, intuitive knowing, and spiritual nudges. Now, as we close this meditation, notice how you feel right now and bring this back into your daily life to be used now, today, and always as we celebrate Father's love and the power of faith.
Thank you, Bill. That was beautiful. Welcome to Unity of Orange County, whether you're here in person, which is awesome, or whether you're joining us on YouTube, you're just so welcome here, and I wanted to take that opportunity to thank you for coming. And today is Father's Day, as we've kind of discussed, and we're all wearing our lovely ties, so that kind of reminds us. And so I wanted to begin by acknowledging fathers in whatever form that shows up for you, because there's many kinds of fathers. And I was going to try and list the many types of fathers, but then I was afraid I might unintentionally leave one out. So I'm just going to recognize the universal father and the many human forms that takes in all of us. And so thank you, fathers, for your time and your duties that you do. And there's a colleague of mine, his name is Reverend Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones. Some of you may have read some of his books. He wrote The Art of Being, The Art of Uncertainty, and The Art of Abundance. If you haven't, they're fabulous. Please pick them up and read them. Well, he recently posted some writings on something that we call the Listserv, which is a minister's forum to share ideas and questions and things like that. And some of his writings were on the topic of Father's Day. So I asked, do you mind if I steal some of those and borrow them for the day? And he, of course, graciously said, use whatever you want. So we're going to use a little bit of his. And one thing I'm going to start with is a poem that he wrote. And he titled it, Abba Knows Best. 4 years old. My daddy can do anything. 7 years old. My daddy knows a whole lot. 8 years old. My father doesn't quite know everything. 12 years of age. Oh well, naturally, father doesn't know anything about that either. 14 years of age. Oh, father, you are hopelessly old-fashioned. 21 years of age. Oh, that man, he is so out of date. 25 years of age. He knows a little bit about it, but not that much. 30 years of age. I must find out what Dad thinks about that. 35 years of age. Before we decide, let's go get Dad's idea first. 50 years of age. What would Dad have thought about that? 60 years of age. My dad knew literally everything. 65 years of age. I only wish I could talk it over with my dad once more. And he goes on in his writings to tell, that his dad had passed when he was at that age, around 65. So that was his last thought. So what happens is over the course of our lifetimes, fathers, they kind of go full circle in our eyes or in the eyes of their children. And I'm sure a lot of us recall watching programs such as Father Knows Best, Make Room for Daddy, Leave It to Beaver. And when, we were younger, and those were wonderful shows, and these shows were said to depict a fully functional, typical American family, right? And I'm sure many of us would maybe agree to disagree on that one little factor. However, at the core of all of those shows lay this one greatest desire, which is inherent in all of us, and that is the desire to feel loved, guided, cherished, provided for, and supported by something or someone that is larger than we often see ourselves being. And the master teacher, Jesus, he was fully aware of this. He was aware of this inherent desire that we all have. And he knew that it was human nature to desire and to seek this love and this guidance and the protection. And that's why he referred to God as Father. He created that bridge that allowed us to experience an intimate relationship with God. A God who was of unconditional love. And prior to Jesus' time here on earth, he might have been depicted more as angry, withholding, judging, or even punishing. So we can choose, just as Jesus did, to get in touch with the presence of our God within, the presence of our universal principle that lies within all of us. Jesus gave us that gift by making God approachable when he referred to God as Abba. The word Abba is a familiar Aramaic term of endearment, and it literally means daddy. And as most of you, or some of you, any scholars would know that the Bible was originally translated from the Aramaic. So Jesus had his own version then of Father Knows Best. It was in the parable of the prodigal son, which we find in Luke 15, chapters 11 through 31. And in this parable, Jesus predicts the Father as wise and generous and non-judgmental and totally and unconditionally loving. And this is a Father I'm sure, and I'm sure you would be happy and pleased to have. And in this parable, we see this loving and non-judgmental Father in the story as a metaphor for the nature of God. So this Father's Day, I invite you, if it's appropriate, to honor your earthly father well, but also take time to make room for Abba. And so as Tina mentioned earlier, our talk this week is actually, if ye have faith. So I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. And this is a subject that is really, really near and dear to my heart, because for a very long time, I had a little bit of trouble with this whole concept of faith. This whole idea of faith just really eluded me. So as usual, when I don't understand something, I went seeking. I had to find an answer. That was one of the things that drew me to New Thought teachings, is you could always find an answer. It was a scientific method that you could find an answer in. So I found one that really resonated with me, and it was found in the Science of Mind glossary, Science of Mind, written by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And this is how he defines faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is a mental attitude that is so inwardly embodied that the mind can no longer deny it. Faith is complete. It is both conscious and subconscious. It is subjective acceptance. And in spiritual terminology, faith means a belief in the presence of an invisible principle and a law which directly and specifically responds to us. Thy faith has made thee whole. So let's take a moment and kind of break down that terminology to see if we can kind of get more to the root of it and see how we can understand it a little bit better. So I'm sure all of us, again, the first part of it, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I'm sure there's not probably anybody that hasn't heard that terminology. So the substance of things hoped for, in this instance, those things not seen, those are the ideas, the desires that we have, those things that the Spirit puts within our mind. And we've been, following this journey on the quest. And so Reverend Audine has talked about how we get those ideas and then we embody them. And then we can move through them and have them come to fruition. And the evidence of things not seen, then that is the releasing, the allowing those ideas to come to fruition, those stepping out of our own way, if you will. We sometimes have to step out of our own way to get there. But a more simple approach that I think everybody can understand would be, we plant seeds, we tend them, we water them, and we fully expect that we're going to get a plant, right? That they're going to grow because we just took care of them. So we plant that idea of that seed of an idea, and then we tend it with prayer, with affirmations, with anything that you meditation, anything that you use as your spiritual practice, and then you see it come to fruition in your life. And faith is, so in this instance, this is the seeds of our faith. Faith is a mental attitude so inwardly embodied that the mind can no longer deny it. When we get to that place, guess what? Things are going to happen. And a belief in the presence of an invisible principle and a law which directly and specifically responds to us. This is known in the metaphysical world as the law of attraction. You see, once we get really, really clear on what we want and what we really, truly desire, then we develop what's known as a spiritual prototype. And then that spiritual prototype, we release it, and we allow the law then to bring forth that which we desire. And this is a good time to remind you to be careful what you wish for. You see, faith is a little bit tricky. You have to be very sure that it's pointed in the right direction. And as we recall in Matthew, according to your faith, it is done to you. So we really, really want to invest a little time in this opportunity to deepen our faith. In their book, The Quest, the Jafolas offer an example, and they refer to this as intellectual faith. And I'd like to read it for you. It's a little story. So it says, a case of spiritual faith. Oh, back up. A case of intellectual faith. There's a very famous, well-documented case of a man who had an advanced form of cancer, a lymphoma sarcoma. He was gravely ill, and he was completely bedridden and on oxygen. And he needed fluid to recover. His chest kept being filled up with fluid, so he kept having to have this fluid drained from his chest. And there were huge tumor masses covering his entire body. The man heard about a new miracle drug and asked if he could be included in the clinical trials. Within 10 days of receiving the drug, he had a spectacular recovery. And he was released from the hospital, and he remained symptom-free for 2 months. Then he read some negative publicity about the drug. And a few days later, he was back in the hospital again. And he had massive tumors once again, and his chest was filled with fluid, and the need for oxygen was even greater. His physician, desperate at this point, told the man that he wanted to try an improved batch of the drugs, which was far superior to the last batch. The man enthusiastically agreed, but the physician had no new drug. He injected his patient with sterile water. Yet again, the man made a miraculous and remarkable recovery. The tumor masses melted, the fluid drained from his chest, and his need for oxygen diminished. He again returned to work completely symptom-free with no trace of cancer in his body. Sometime later, the man read a newspaper story reporting that the drug was judged worthless in treatment of cancer. 2 days later, the man was dead. So this is an example of intellectual faith, but they also give us a contrasting story of spiritual faith. So I'm going to share that with you now as well. Contrast this story with the great Nobel Prize-winning surgeon Alexis Carrel and his story of an incident which he personally observed and wrote about later in his book, The Voyage to Lourdes. The story deals with Mr. Carrel's journey as a young physician with a trainload of sick people to the shrine of Lourdes. His intention was to debunk the reports of a healing from the pilgrimage site. During the train ride, Dr. Carrel was kept especially busy with a girl named Marie, a young girl with whom Carrel described as classic case of tubercular peritonitis. She was so ill that her personal physical physician considered her case hopeless. On the train to Lourdes, she lapsed into a coma several times, saved only by Dr. Carrel's medical attention. After arriving at Lourdes, Carrel was called again to minister to the girl. This time, he brought another physician with him to examine her. They both agreed she may last a few more days, but she is doomed. Death is very near. Carrel felt if she gets home again alive, that in itself will be the miracle. Yet Marie was determined to be bathed in the water at Lourdes. Dr. Carrel describes the girl. She lay on her back, all shrunken beneath the dark brown blanket, which made a mound over her distended abdomen. And her breath came quick and short. And the sick girl was apparently unconscious. Her pulse was more rapid than ever. Her face was ashen. It was obvious that the young girl was about to die. But Marie did not die. 2 hours after having the water poured all over her, all symptoms of her illness were vanished. Dr. Carrel reported she was cured. In the span of a few hours, a girl whose face already turned blue with a distended abdomen and a fatally racing heart had been restored to health. So we see these examples then show us that intellectual faith alone will not make us whole. But that deep, abiding spiritual faith, that's what brings about the results that we desire. Thy faith has made thee whole. You see, Marie was the only one who was healed that day on that pilgrimage to Lourdes. Marie's faith did not fall apart because the water was merely a catalyst, which then fans the flames that were already within inside of her. She had that deep spiritual faith. She had the complete trust that God's desire for her was absolute good. This is true spiritual faith. And these stories then remind us that we already have this faith. It is merely a matter of where we place it. So we must choose then to invest our faith wisely, because like attracts like. If we invest in sickness, then we attract and ultimately receive sickness. And this works for all thoughts like poverty, hatred. I could go on and on and on, but it works for everything. We get what we expect. So instead, let's choose to invest in love, in health, in prosperity, and receive them in kind. Because the law in which like attracts like is always there. If you send out negative thoughts, you activate negative influences and then draw back to you negative results. If, on the other hand, you send out positive thoughts, bright, resplendent thoughts of faith, you activate positive influences in the world around you and then draw back to yourself those positive results. I'll breathe that in for a second. So let us then adopt the faith, even as tiny as a mustard seed. With each passing day, it's as though the multitude of doubts and fears grow exponentially. They're demanding us to show our strength. Everything that is going on in the world is out there bombarding us with all this information. And while it may feel though as we're being bombarded, and we feel that, and we start to reel, that's from one crisis to the next, to the next, to the next. In fact, what's happening is we're being called to expand our faith and expand our trust in what we hold to be true. And that is love, is the impulsion of the universe. So the gospel speaks to us of this power of faith. In the book of Matthew, we are told, by faith, we may cause a mountain to be moved. And we can read in this word mountain, not necessarily in the literal sense, but rather as a tremendous obstacle. If we look at the mountain as an obstacle that's happening in our lives, we might better understand it. And we all have our own mountains right now. And we all have mountains that we've never faced before. And we all have mountains that we may have to face later. So in this manual for life that I call the Bible, we are reminded that if you have faith, nothing shall be impossible. So why then do so many people who believe that they have this faith, why do they not see the desired results? Well, although faith is limitless, it can only extend to our self-imposed boundaries of our present consciousness. That's right, I said it. We block our own good, okay? Your present consciousness is what creates those artificial boundaries, and then that limits your faith, and limited faith can only express in limited ways. But in Jesus, we saw the example of a consciousness which expanded the limited reaches of his spirit, limitless reaches of his spirit. Because of that, his faith was limited, limitless. Let me back this up. And again, in Jesus, we see the example of a consciousness which expanded to the limitless reaches of his spirit. And because of that, his faith was limitless. And the acts that he performed then seemed miraculous, especially at the time that they were performed. But Jesus merely let his spirit flow freely through him, through his soul, and in turn then expanded his consciousness without limits. And His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, says, faith dispels doubt and hesitation. It liberates you from suffering and delivers you to the city of peace and happiness. I don't know about the rest of you, but that sounds like a city that I would really like to visit. The city of peace and happiness. So on this long journey of human life, we can say then that faith is the best of companions. It is the best refreshment on our journey. And it is the greatest of properties. And as you can see, as we start to accept faith, new doors then will begin to open for us. We must know that we are an eternal being on the pathway of life, with certainty behind us, certainty before us, and certainty accompanying us all the way. And when life gives you a reason to cry, show life that you have 100 reasons to smile. Let us face our past without regret, handle our present with confidence, and prepare for the future without fear. Let us keep the faith. Namaste. Oh, thank you.
If you guys know this one, maybe sing along. A little song about faith, written by the Beatles. Who would have thought? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. And though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah, there will be an answer, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And though the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. In my hour of darkness, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Thank you so much, Tom, Bill, and what a wonderful message today. Thank you, Reverend Allison. We really do appreciate that. Here at Unity of Orange County, and we have 5 basic principles that we believe in. And one is God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth that I know I make a difference. And we also believe in the principle of giving and receiving. So here at Unity of Orange County, we have several different ways that you can give. So, of course, one is write a check, send it in the mail. That's always easy. And we also have you can go to our website and you can go to the donate button. You can also text a donation to the 77977. And in the message, you can type in Unity of OC Give. And also on your way out, we have our collection box, and you can also drop your donation in there. But we really appreciate all of your donations. This church is strictly run on donations, and so in order for us to continue having our doors open, we really do appreciate everything that you can help us out with. Very good. So let us put our hands together so that we can have our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So today we have some water and some snacks out here in the lobby, and we have our coffee cart outside. So we hope that you do stop and have a little bit of a snack before you go. And it is the first day of summer. So yay for that. And we can start enjoying our summer. And it's just so nice to see so many of you here today. It's just wonderful. And so let's get out there and enjoy and have faith that we are going to have a fabulous year. Thank you very much. So let us close with our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week.